Hi all, welcome back to IGNOU MBA. Today, we're going to discuss the paper for MMPC-012 Strategic Management of December 2022 terminal examination. As we all know, the previous year question papers of IGNOU are very important because IGNOU question paper always take the questions of the previous years, okay? So don't miss any part. Let's see the first question. Explain the features of any company's visions. Discuss briefly the purpose of vision statement with the help of a diagram. In Unit 2, we can find the topic vision and then vision statement. Okay, so let's get into the notes. A vision of an organization is the expectation that the organization wants to fulfill. Okay, everyone have vision, right? We all have certain goals and visions in our life. The same way, company too have vision. Okay, so a company's vision, it showcases a future picture of an organization, like what it wants to become in the future. Okay, so it acts as a guide for an organization. Okay, so it helps to attain a state or position which an organization wants to achieve in future. Okay, so organizational vision depicts the desirable future position that an organization wants to achieve in the coming years. Okay, so vision, we can say it's a long-term concept because for example, it remains the same for several years. Okay, so the aim of the vision statement, it is to provide an answer to the question what an organization wants to become. Okay, so in other words, we can say that vision statement defines the strategic path of an organization. Okay, so it provides a structured path to an organization by enabling it to focus on a predetermined future position and reduces the chances of deviations. Okay, now let's see what is a vision statement. The vision statement of an organization, it should be achievable and measurable. Okay, so it should be ambitious but not over ambitious. So we can say that it should be proposed keeping in mind the current environment as well as the possible changes that may happen in the future. Okay, so the vision of an organization is represented in the form of a vision statement. A vision statement must incorporate the thoughts of all stakeholders to ensure an effective statement. Okay, so let's see the diagram for vision statement. Okay, this diagram I have taken it from our text itself. You can go through it. So the purpose of a vision statement is it acts as a guiding force. Okay, so it sets the long-term aspiration. It helps the stakeholders to take decisions and plan their strategies. Okay, and it also helps in structuring strategies. That is, it provides a framework for goal setting. It also ensures that strategies align with the vision. Okay, then we can see that vision statement is a well-defined work, helps in well-defined workforce as it communicates values and purposes, aligns employees toward common goals. Also, vision statement, it acts as a motivational factor as it inspires and motivates the employees. It connects them with higher aspirations. Okay, we can say that vision statement is also an image of the organization as it shapes the external perception. It communicates values and aspiration. It also helps to enhance the reputation and the brand image of the organization. Okay, so let's see the second question. Explain the meaning of global business environment. Why is there a need for internationalization? In Unit 3, Strategy in Global Context, in this unit, we can see the need for internationalization, also the global business environment. Okay, so let's see the answer. The global business environment, the environment surrounding any entity, be it living or non-living, it is very crucial for its survival and growth. So for businesses also, this environment is known as the business environment. Okay, so business environment consists of two factors, that is internal and the external factors. Internal factors, the business can control, okay, but the external factors, they go beyond its control. And when businesses operate in more than one nation, they engage in global business, managing activities on a global scale. Okay, so let's see the internal environment. It involves the organization's resources, strengths, and weaknesses. It focuses on building core capabilities for success. It also influences the strategy formulation within the organization. And when we talk about the external environment of an organization, it includes the forces that is outside the organization's control. Okay, so it brings the opportunities and threats. It also divides industry level and macro level factors. Okay, in global business, it expands to factors from different nations impacting the organizations globally. So understanding and adapting this global business environment is really crucial for organization to thrive in international markets. And let's see the need for internationalization. Internationalization or going global is crucial for organization for many reasons. One of that reason is expanded opportunity. With the help of internationalization, we can enter the foreign markets, and organization can tap into new and larger customer bases, and that leads to increase in sales opportunities beyond their domestic market. And then we can say it also helps to reduce the dependence, okay? So operating in multiple countries, it will help the organization to reduce the reliance on a single national market. And also it helps the organization to face the challenges that they face in domestic market, okay? As their activities are extended into the global phase, okay? So it helps to reduce the risk. Then we can say it also provides some economic benefits. International expansion allows organizations to earn returns on their investment, benefits from scale economies, and also access the resources outside the domestic market, okay? So it can also lead to cost advantages such as utilizing low-cost labor. Then we can say product life cycle, extending the life cycle of products by introducing them to new markets. It helps the organization to stay relevant and profitable for longer periods, okay? Also global competition. Adapting to global competition is essential in the modern business landscape. It encourages organizations to develop a global mindset. So we can say that internationalization offer various advantages, but it also comes with challenges, including political and economic risk. Also, the increased coordination cost and the need to overcome trade barriers and cultural differences. The next third question, briefly analyze Porter's 5 forces framework. Diagrammatically explain Porter's 5 forces model of competition. In Unit 5, competitive analysis, in this unit, we can find the topic Porter's 5 forces framework, okay? So let's see the notes for it. So competitive analysis is one of the most critical parts of an organization's strategic plan, okay? So a competitive analysis, it involves identifying the strategies of the competitors, that is their strengths and weaknesses, what are the strategies, and then evaluating those things, okay? So the Porter's 5 forces framework, it is one of the most widely used tool for analyzing the competitive environment, okay? So these competitive forces in Porter's 5 forces framework includes the rivalry among competitors in the industry, the potential entrants, the substitute products, the bargaining power of suppliers, and the bargaining power of buyers. They have to ask in our question, diagrammatically explain Porter's 5 forces model of competition. In our text, we can find the diagram for the 5 forces model of competition. They are the bargaining power of buyers, sellers, and buyers, suppliers, threat of new entrants, and then threat of substitute products, okay? So rivalry among competitors, it describes the competition intensity within the industry, okay? So when there is high rivalry, we can say that the competition will be tough, right? It will affect the prices and profit. Low rivalry, it indicates a more stable and profitable industry. Potential entrants examines the threat of new companies entering into the market, okay? So when there is a high entry barrier, what happens? It reduces the new joinees into the market, right? And when the entry barrier is very low, it makes the easier the new players to join the market, okay? Then the substitute products. It focuses on products that can replace or fulfill the same purpose. The high availability of substitute limits the pricing power of firms. When there are a many number of substitute, what happens? Yes, the pricing power of the firm goes down, right? And when there is low availability, it strengthens a company's market position. And then bargaining power of suppliers, it evaluates the influence suppliers have on businesses. The powerful suppliers, they can demand higher prices or better terms. And the weak suppliers, they give more negotiating power to businesses. Bargaining power of buyers, it assesses the influence of customers on businesses. The powerful buyers, they demand lower prices or higher quality, okay? And the weak buyers, they provide more control to businesses over pricing and terms. So understanding these forces helps businesses to strategize and navigate competition and then make informed decision in their industry. The next question, describe value chain framework. How does it analyze the organization's strengths and weaknesses? In text unit 6, internal analysis, in this unit, we can find the topic, the value chain framework, okay? So we can see a diagram that is showing the value chain model, okay? So let's see the notes for it, okay? So this is other framework that is most commonly used to guide analysis of any organization's strength and weakness. Okay, so in this framework, any business is seen as a number of linked activities, each producing value for the customer. So let's see the value chain framework. It is a typical value chain within an organization, and this framework it helps to analyze the organization's contributions to individual activities in a business. Okay, also they add up to the overall level of customer value the organization produces. So there are mainly two types of activities: the primary activities and the support activities in the value chain model. The primary activities, they include inbound logistics, operations, outbound logistics, marketing and sales and service. Okay. And the supporting activities, they are firm infrastructure, procurement, human resource management, and technology development. Okay. So let's see the inbound logistics. They are the activities that are concerned with receiving, storing, and distributing the input to the product or service. So they include materials handling, then stock control, transport, etc. Operation, it transforms the various inputs into the final product or services like manufacturing, packaging, assembly, testing, etc. The outbound logistics, it collects, store, and distribute the product to customers. For tangible product, this would be warehousing, material handling, transportation, etc. And in case of services or intangible products, it can be like arrangement for bringing customer to the service if it is a fixed location. Okay. And then the marketing and sales, it makes consumers or users aware of the product or service so that they are able to purchase the product. Okay. So this includes sales administration, advertising, selling, and so on. And the services activity, it helps improving the effectiveness or efficiency of primary activities. Okay. So each of these primary activities, they are linked to support the activities. Okay. So they are firm infrastructure, procurement, technology development, human resource management. Okay. So let's see the firm infrastructure. It includes the overall management structure that keeps everything running smoothly. And procurement is a process for acquiring the various resource input to the primary activities. And this is present in many parts of the organization. Technology development, they are key technologies that are attached to the different activities that may be directly linked with the product or with resource inputs. Okay. Human resource management, it is an area that is involved with recruiting, managing, training, developing, and rewarding people within the organization. Okay. So this management makes sure that everyone is working and doing their best. Okay. Next question, describe the formulation of competitive strategy. What are the factors to develop realistic competitive strategy? So in Unit 8, competitive strategy, we can see the topic formulation of competitive strategy and the diagram of the wheel of competitive strategy, and then the factors that determines the formulation of competitive strategy. Okay. So I have taken the notes from here, our text only. So let's see that any organization, be it any type of industry, it always has a competitive strategy. Okay. So that may be explicit or implicit in nature. If it is explicit, then it is developed through a planning process that takes into account the external environment. Okay. And if it is implicit in nature, we can say it is developed through the activities of different functional units within an organization. So in the present context, we can say the combination of the explicit and the implicit strategies can be the best option for giving the direction to the organization to achieve its set objectives. Okay. So developing a competitive strategy, it is technically developing a formula for success. So this is a classical approach to formulate a strategy, but it is still relevant in formulating any kind of strategy. Okay. So let's see the wheel of competitive strategy. It all leads to the same goal. Okay. So the center point depicts the goal of the organization, which defines the way the businesses should be going to compete, including the economic and non-economic objectives, and the spokes of the wheel, like workforce, manufacturing, logistics, sales. All these are functional areas through which the goals of the organization can be achieved. Okay. So each spoke define the key operating policies within their functional area. Okay. Now let's see the factors to develop realistic competitive strategy. The factors can be internal factors that includes the strengths and weaknesses. Then the external factors that includes opportunities and threats, then the expectation of society and the core values. Okay. So an organization must take into consideration these four factors, which are these four factors that we have seen. Okay. Into consideration for, to develop a realistic competitive strategy. Okay. Then the consistency testing, it is necessary for an organization to test for consistency of the competitive strategy, taking into consideration of 4 variables. They are internal consistency, and environmental fit, resource fit, and implementation. The internal consistency, they are the realistic goals. They act as a key operating policy to align the goals, and they also operate policies in sync with each other. And environmental fit, capitalization of industry opportunities as per the goals and the policies. And then the goals and policies that deal with the industry threats and the timing of those goals and policies and how they respond to societal expectation. Okay. Then comes the resource fit, goals and policies. It should match the available resources. So, and also these policies should be adaptable to any changes that may occur in future. Okay. Then comes the implementation. Well-designed goals can be implemented. Okay. So aligning the goals and policies with that of the core values of the organization, and then sufficient managerial capability for effective implementation. So these above consideration help in formulating an effective competitive strategy. It also, the organization need to then follow the process of formulating a strategy. The next question, examine the nature and scope of corporate strategies. Discuss the types of generic corporate strategies. In Unit 9, Corporate Level Strategy, we can see the topic, nature and scope of corporate strategies and the different types of corporate strategies, okay? So corporate strategy, they act as a blueprint for the growth of any organization. It sets the overall direction of the organization to follow, okay? So it is mainly concerned with the choice of businesses, the products, and the market. We all know growth is a real essential for any organization. So organization go through inevitable progression, like the growth will be from maturity, revival, and then eventually to decline. Okay. So during this organizational life cycle, the management choose between growth, stability, or retrenchment strategies to overcome the deteriorating trends in performance. Okay. So corporate strategy, it helps in achieving the corporate objectives. Okay. So most of the strategies, the choices of successful corporation have a central economic logic that serve as the fulcrum of profit creation. So some of the major economic reason for choosing a particular kind of corporate strategy, they are the exploiting operational economies and financial economies of scope, then avoiding the uncertainty or the risk, and then increasing the efficiency. Also the management skills that creates corporate advantage and the long-term profit potential of a business. The non-economic reason for choosing a corporate strategy includes dominant view of the top management, employee incentives to diversify, desire for more power and management control, ethical consideration, and corporate social responsibility. All these points I have taken from our text itself, okay? Then comes the types of generic corporate strategy. Mainly, there are 4 types of corporate strategies. The first one is stability strategy. It aims to maintain the current level of operation without any changes. Okay. So this is often chosen when the organization is satisfied and with its current and market position and performance. Okay. So with the stability strategy, it focuses on optimizing existing resources and capabilities. So it avoids major risk or changes. It gives emphasis on efficiency and cost control. And it continues the current product lines without major innovation. And then it maintains current market share without aggressive expansion. And then the growth strategy, it involves the expanding the organization's activities, achieve higher sales, profits, or market share. So this could involve entering into new markets, introduction of new products, or acquiring other businesses. Okay. So here, new opportunities and markets are giving importance over here, and the investment in research and development are given importance. Also expansion. Okay. So in with the help of growth strategies, the companies are willing to take calculated risk. Okay. So the market development through entering new geographical areas and the product development by introducing new features or variations, all these are included in growth strategies. Then retrenchment strategy. Okay. So it involves reducing the level of organizational activities. This may be necessary in response to declining performance or financial difficulties or other challenges. Okay. So retrenchment strategy, it includes layoff and asset sales, then cost-cutting measures. Okay, so it streamlines the operation and eliminates the unprofitable products or services, and exiting the unprofitable markets or downsizing to cut operational cost. All these are included in the retrenchment strategy. Okay, then the combination strategy, as the name itself becomes to know, it involves a mix of stability, growth, and retrenchment strategies. Okay, so organization may adopt a combination strategy to balance the risk and stability of its organization. Okay, so simultaneous pursuit of different strategies for different business units or activities. It allows you for flexibility and adaptability. Okay, so it requires careful planning and management to avoid conflicts. As it is a combination of all the other strategies, it may lead to conflicts. So management need to be really very careful in planning the strategies. Okay, so it focuses on stability in mature markets, also while pursuing the growth in emerging market. Okay, so it's important to note that the choice of strategy depend on various factors of organization, like its resources and capabilities, the industry's competitive environment, the changing market condition, and the overall business context. Okay, the next question, explain the basic models of corporate governance. Discuss the important provisions of different models. This topic has come from Unit 11, Corporate Governance. In this unit, we can find the different models of corporate governance. Mainly, there are 7. Okay, so let's see one by one of those, what are those models are. Okay, so I have prepared the notes from our text only. All these notes, I have just put it down in points. Okay, so let's see, the first model is Canadian model. So it was influenced by the French and British colonial history. It shifted from family business to a structure similar to the US. Okay, so Canadian model was an earlier adopter of corporate governance practices. It emphasized the board independence and the shareholder rights. It also actively promotes transparency and accountability in corporate practices. Then comes the UK and American model. This model was passed in July 2002. Its main aim is to provide more transparency and accountability to US corporate. Okay, so re-establish investor confidence through good corporate governance practice. It also helped to improve the accuracy and the transparency in financial reporting. And then accounting service of listed organization. It helps in increasing the corporate responsibility. Then comes the German model. Since 19th century, Germany is known as the hub of industrialization. For the past 5 decades, we can say that Germany has been exporting sophisticated machinery. So the financing of the German industry is being done by rich German families or small shareholders, bankers, and foreign investors in the past. But since the second half of 19th century, Germany has been taking steps towards corporate governance. Okay, so the company law was introduced in 1870 and 1884, which highlighted making the information transparent. Okay, so as of now, Germany has more number of family-controlled businesses. Then the Italian model. Since a long time, the Italian business has been dominated by the family holdings. Okay, so that trend, it continued till the 20th century. Then in the last 2 decades, the corporate governance is in an organized form in Italy. Now the investors in Italy, they are aware of their rights and the importance of corporate governance. Then comes the France model. The financial system in France was controlled by religion and the state. That was the main borrower. Okay, so the basic form of lending was mortgage, and coins were the major part of money transaction. So the French industry was based on a consecutive outlook. The corporate governance was introduced in France in a stage-wise manner with economic development activities. Then comes the Japanese model. In the Japanese model, Japan has been a conservative country where the business families were at the bottom of the pyramid. Okay, so this led to the stagnation of the businesses. And after World War II, a change in business took place and the entry of American traders was allowed. Okay, and then a new culture started building up and the Japanese industry started gaining, which was a mix of private and state capitalization. So in 1945, the Americans took charge of Japanese economy, and the concept of corporate governance evolved only in the past 20 years in Japan. Okay, and then the Indian model. India has a long history of commercial activities. In the year 2000, SEBI established a committee and to make the report. In the same year, the Ministry of Finance, which was supposed to examine the roles, duties, and independence of auditors. And the Indian model has mandatory compliance related to the board of directors, audit committees, subsidiary compliances relating to whistleblower policy, shareholder rights, and audit qualification and performance, evaluation of board members. The last question, describe balanced scoreboard. How are critical success factors determined? Okay. So in Unit 13 evaluation, we can find the topic for balanced scoreboard, BSC. So BSC, it is a strategic management system that helps the organization to translate their vision and strategy into actionable steps. Okay. So it evaluates both internal processes and external outcomes by continuous improvement in strategic performance and results. Okay. So let's see the 4 perspectives of balanced scoreboard. They are financial perspective, business perspective, learning and growth perspective, and customer perspective. Okay. So the learning and growth perspective, it focuses on the organization's ability to adapt, innovate, and learn. Okay. So it measures include employee training, skills development, and the creation of a knowledge-based culture. Then the business process perspective, it evaluates the efficiency and effectiveness of internal process. Okay. So the key metrics, it may include cycle time, and then cost reduction and improvement in productivity. Then in customer perspective, it concentrates on the customer satisfaction and value creation. So the metrics here encompasses of customer loyalty, satisfaction surveys, and then market share. Okay. Then comes the financial perspective. It assesses the financial performance and results, and that include traditional financial metrics such as revenue growth, profit margin, and return on investment. Okay. So the critical success factors that determines for balanced scoreboard, they are strategic objectives, then link to perspectives, identity performance indicators, then alignment and continuous monitors. Okay. So the critical success factors are identified to align with the 4 perspective. Okay. So the process, in the process, the first step is strategic objective. It begins by defining the organization overall strategic objectives based on its mission and vision. Then a link to the different perspectives like learning and growth, business process, customer, and financial. And then the third step is to identify the performance indicators, the KPIs for each of the perspective, and then measuring success in achieving the strategic objectives. Then comes the alignment, that is choosing the correct strategy that aligns with the organization's overall goals and contribute to its long-term success. And then the final is continuous monitoring. Here, we regularly monitor and evaluate the identified CSFs to track progress and adjust strategies as needed. So by following this process, organization can establish a balanced set of indicators that cover various aspects of their operation, facilitating a more holistic and strategic approach to performance management. So here comes the end of our term and examination for MMPC 12 of December 2022. So hope you find it helpful. So subscribe for more videos of IGNOU MBA and share with your friends too. Thank you.